Hey everybody, Troy from the Do-It-Yourself world. You guys may remember this old utility trailer I've used for years. It had 4 wheels on an axle. The old ones were getting pretty bad, and I took them in and I got 3 new tires, not 4 but 3 new tires to replace them. That's one on now. I did not record because I'm just testing out to see what happens if I put 1 tire on. The hub sticks out a lot, so but that's just about all. And I don't know, tell me your opinions. This is my first time doing this, but whether I should flip these inside out. But then again, the air goes in on the outside of the tire like this, the way they put it on. I don't want to have to reach around. I don't think it matters except for clearance between the deck and the tire, which won't be an issue because I'm also going to put stake sides on here. One really cool thing to note, my little John Deere is serving me well because it's holding this still while I work on the tires. So I ordered new tires, they came in, and I took them into the shop, just picked them up this morning. Now over here I figure I'll let you watch because now I know what I'm doing. I just wasn't sure with this old trailer. I've not messed with it. I've ran the tires, I've ran the trailer, and now it's time to clean it up and put it into service as a firewood hauler. So what I'm doing here is I'm going through with a wire brush. Since I'm only running 1 tire, 1 rim per side, there's a little bit of rust and dirt to clean up off the threads on the where the nut never was in its life. So I'm going to clean these up nicely as far as I can go, and then I'm also going to check the bearings since I've never done that myself. It was done not long before I bought it a few years ago, but it's time to do a complete workover on this before I put it back into service on the road. It's just been used for kicking around the area the past few years. I was gonna sell it, but even Melanie said, you know, you might want to keep that trailer. You might want to consider using it for hauling firewood. So this hauled some serious stuff back in its day. And so I thought, you know what? I think you're right. And I decided to keep it and just put it back into service. I gotta get a screwdriver over here. So I'm also running along the rim here so I don't have any trouble where the tire goes on, and scraping along any rust and dirt that may have collected along there through the years, because I am running 1 instead of 2 tires. I don't know what difference that's all going to make, but I don't want to have trouble putting these on. And then later in the summer I'll probably, or I don't know when, I'll probably, if I get some downtime where I'm not running firewood, I'm probably going to paint this all. It's got a pretty solid frame, pretty clean yet, well worth fixing up and keeping around. And this is the one with the crane. I'll probably have you see that later. Yeah, so just run that around and clean it off. I'll finish that up, do a good job, and I'll get the tire on. We'll be back in a few minutes. Now these are crazy heavy tires. They're heavier than the original, so I'm having trouble handling them. So it's not It's not like the others. They're extra heavy. Much heavier. So they must be better than what I had. So I gotta jack this up. I'm also looking at the spring shackle bushings and bolts. I see a little bit of motion in there. You can't see it from this angle, but I see a little bit of motion in there. So I'm gonna cut them off. I'm gonna order new ones. I'm gonna measure them, order new ones, cut them off, and put the new ones on. Which is what I'm doing on the other trailer, but that trailer is on the side burner because it needs a lot more work than this old one. So what I'm doing right now, oops, I gotta lower that. I gotta take that board out, take the chock out, a little bit higher. Oh, here we go. I had the axle chocked, now I've got to lower it so that I can get this wheel on. Because it's heavy. I think it's heavier than I am. It's pretty insane. So I sort of have to manhandle it because I have a hernia. But, I mean, like, all whole body, hug it and handle it. Get lugs lined up here somewhat. Go down a little bit more. See, this is just a tricky bit of work for me to line it up. There we go, I got it. Success. I am using anti-seize. Some people like it, some don't. I don't know, I've never had a tire come off that had it. I goop it on good. I don't know. I prefer not having any trouble in the future. So I use it. I put it on maybe thick, I don't know. But again, I've never had a tire come off with it on. And anything I work on, I've always used this. So my camera resets at 8 minutes. I have no idea how long I've chatted. So I'm going to get these finger tightened on and reset the camera, and we'll be back in a minute. That sure is going smooth though with that anti-seize. That's very smooth so far. Wow, this side is really good. The other one was a little bit tougher. So I'll get those on there. Alright, now I kept tension on the jack so that the tire doesn't spin freely. And I'm not going to put any hard pressure on these. I'm just going to get them all tight. This is really free spinning. I'm just getting it there slightly tight. Notice the tire spun a little. I still have most of the tension on the jack until I get these seated. Trying to go alternating back and forth, round and round the wheel, opposite sides as much as you can. Oh, that one's really nice and loose now. Get them all on there a little bit, seated, and then I can let the tension off the jack and let the tire take all the tension. I'm just saying this for those of you who don't know what I'm doing. Most of you guys know. That one's a little stiffer, a little bit of rust on there. Alright, now I'm going to let some tension on the wheel. Still not all of it, just enough so it doesn't spin much until I get this seated well. I want that to seat and center itself all the way around nicely before I put all the weight on that wheel. Oh, that one's loose. See, as you go, they'll center themselves. That one's loose. That one's got to go a ways. Oh, there, he's freed up a bit better. Alright. Now I'm going to let all the pressure onto the tire and take the jack out. I'm going to reset the camera because at 8 minutes it gets all goofy on me. Good old screw-on tractor jack. I like it. And now I can start putting tension on these. Again, alternating opposite sides as much as you can. Get them tight. Get a different angle. I'm probably going to take this in for new lug nuts. I'm not going to lugs and nuts. I'm not going to do that myself. That could be just hurt waiting to happen. Get them on tight. Anyway, you don't have to watch all that. I'm just going to tighten them up until they're good and tight. And then we'll have tires, brand new tires. And I've got a third as a spare. There. These tires are rated at, well, they're 16 ply tires, rated at 4,800 pounds a piece at 120 something PSI. I think they said they pumped it to 120. It's just an insane amount of air pressure, an insane amount of weight that can take. So this trailer now, with these two tires, related tires, can handle almost 10,000 pounds, which is more than my truck can pull safely at its age. So that's good for me. I don't need to have 4 tires in contact with the ground using more gas at the prices we're at now.